What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Malazan server. Yes, we are here back again after about 4 days of not recording anything. I'm being very lack with my recording, although I've probably done enough to fill about 7 or 8 episodes in the last few days of playing on the server, but I think just a progress update as to what I've done up until this point. I've not carried on with any of the redstone bits and pieces, which I'm sure that you'll be interested in seeing. So the storage room, we're going to finish off not in this episode, unfortunately, because there's other stuff that I want to get done. But what I will show you quickly is what I've done here already, is that I filled half of it with a coral reef, and we've got all the sea pickles and stuff in. I've managed to get one shulker chest full of fish in. So you can see the odd fish sort of floating about here and there, but obviously we need to get a lot more life into the area. And I sort of ran out of sea pickles halfway through, then I ran out of coral halfway through. So I had to do another run on the coral reef. And if we just hop up here, come on, all the way up and up here. So yeah, with the night vision, it doesn't look nearly as impressive. I like it without the night vision from the conduit. So then you sort of get the illumination effect from where the sea pickles are on the coral reef, and I am really liking it as it is at the moment. But I went ahead and another run on the coral reef, got us a bunch more of the fans and fins and coral. We've got another whole shulker full of tropical fish, loads of bits and pieces in there, that's garbage, and a load more coral in that chest there, and then a load of the dead coral, because the dead coral was in the way of the live coral. So yeah, I ended up harvesting up a bunch of that in case we want to use it for any future builds. But today's episode, we really want to crack on and try to get another shop open. Me and Mac have gone halves in on the bookshop already, and I went ahead and bought another 3 plots, so we're sort of working together in getting different types of shops up and running. I think he's working on one currently. And my aim in this episode is to hopefully get one of the other ones up, because we've actually got let me put back on my helmet, an abundance of the elytra and shulker shells and all the goodness from the end busting, that we really need a shop to actually start selling the stuff. But I wanted to show you the shop that me and Mac actually created in, well, it was actually during the recording of the last episode, but I didn't bother showing it off at the end because I was running low on time. But what I'll do now is I'll show you the initial sort of build stages that we went through in designing it. So we're going to hop over into our redstone test world. And this is the first build that me and Max sort of came up with. We decided that we first of all wanted it to be sort of medieval style build. So I was looking online for different images of medieval style buildings, and the closest replica I could sort of make from the images that I found was this one. Now, we really liked the roof on this, and we sort of liked the framework and the different sort of shape and sizes of everything. So we were like, oh, okay, it was a pretty nice build, but it didn't really scream books, or definitely magical or enchanted books, or it didn't really advertise what the product is that we were selling. So then we sort of veered away from this sort of style, and we started going with more vibrant and erratic feels. So this is the one that I come up with, which is a sort of purple looking mushroom cap type thing with a bubble elevator in the middle and a glass chandelier just to add sort of mystical effect. And then we sort of decided that it was a little bit too much. It didn't really capture what we wanted it to. It was very circular, and the purple caps just looked like a little bit of an overgrown mushroom. And then Max started working on this build over here, which was a interesting take on sort of a more darker side medieval style build. And then halfway through building that, we sort of had a look at both and we're like, well, we need to sort of make a decision. This is after around about a good 4 or 5 hours worth of working on different style builds. So then we ended up going back to this one because we really did like the shape of this build, and together it's the first time I've actually collabed on an individual building with someone, and we ended up tearing it down to its pretty much bare bones, and then from its bare bones we sort of built it up with the color scheme of this one over here, because the vibrant purple with the white the white quartz is what I want to say, is a really good contrast match, and it really does look nice, and it adds that sort of fantasy slash mystical feel to the build. So we ended up trying to implement that color scheme onto this style build, and I can quickly show you what we come up with. So this is the end product of what we actually come up with. So if you ignore these grey blocks, as they were indicators as to our plot boundaries that we were actually going to have to build on. And we can just get rid of that one there and get rid of that one there. Now, the final variation that's actually currently in the Malazan server, I will take you over to that in just a sec. But as you can see from the actual structure of it, we sort of kept the exact same shape for the roof. We swapped out the rim of cobblestone for dark oak wood, swapped out the roofing for the different shades of purple, just to add a little bit of contrast. Words today, please. Just to add a little bit of contrast to the build up top. And then we ended up going for an open floor plan because every type of block that we tried to place inside the walls, whether it was dark, light, or even a mediocre sort of shade in between, none of it really looked well. So then we went for the open plan look with just the white glass panes, and it looks very sort of modern / futuristic / fantasy, and we both ended up really liking this design. So this is one that we've ended up throwing into the Malazan server. So off we go to there. So here is the final build. Now the only thing that's changed between this and our other test world where we done a mock-up of it is instead of having a basement level, we've actually done purple stained glass over obsidian, because the obsidian is a slightly purple tinge and it's got the sort of purple flecks underneath, which sort of matches it pretty well. And this shop's now been open for around about 4 or 5 days. So we've actually made quite a few diamonds from the sale of mainly unbreaking 3, mending, and then you've got the occasional ones of I think it's like efficiency 4s are selling pretty well, and we've got sharpness 5s that are doing pretty decently as well. And I also remember that we ended up getting some efficiency 5 books from a villager trade. So we're going to start stocking them, and I'm fairly sure that they're going to be selling just as well. So we've actually made quite a few diamonds. Mac's actually over here now. He's working on one of the shop plots here that we've got. And we've bought this plot over here, and I do believe this one here, and I do believe this one over nope, not that one, and the other far one in the corner over here. And he looks a little bit lost now, so yeah, so we've got this one over here. So we've bought out these 3 plots. I've spent near enough all of my M coin on it. Now the reason that I ended up wanting to buy 3 plots in a row, that is because I wanted to have the option that if I went over my plot bounds, I wasn't going to be encroaching on anyone else's builds. And if I go over my bounds, I'm only going to be going into my other plot sort of area, which means I'm not really going to kick off with myself about it. So having 3 plots in a row there, and that's not where that sentence was meant to go. But yeah, having 3 plots in a row is a good way to do it. That way I'm not so sort of stringent on the boundaries, because obviously if you have a building like that one, which is going to be next door to another building, you have to be really careful not to go over your bounding lines, because you don't want to be encroaching on someone else's build. But with all 3 of the plots banging a line together, we are not going to have that issue. Now he's working, I do believe, on the redstone shop at the moment. He's digging out a massive basement. What effects have we got over here? Speed 2. Okay, I'm fairly sure that they put haste 2 over here, but I was wondering how come I was sprinting around like a lunatic. I think I need to get this over around in my base, because I'm loving the quick running. Yes, I usually say that my phone should be on silent, but I never bother putting it on silent. I think that's the Discord chat. That's probably Mac trying to get hold of me now. But the shop that I want to build, I'm probably going to put over here, and in order to do it, I'm actually going to need some purple blocks. So what we are going to quickly work on before getting around to building the shop itself is we're going to build a pretty quick and easy farm for harvesting the purple fruit, or purple plant, or is it chorus plant? I think it's chorus plant or chorus fruit for the purple blocks. It's not purple plants. I'm just being stupid. So yeah, so we need to create a farm to actually gather and harvest all of that goodness, because obviously with the sort of end theme shop that we're going to be going for, we also want to be stocking all of the goodies that come from the end, such as ender pills, end rods, purple blocks, end stone, anything that really comes from the end, and the end cities is the sort of shop selling idea for it. So what we're going to do is that we're going to head over to back to my island, and there's a little island nearby that I'm actually going to set the farm up on, so we'll head over there now. So back over here on the island, we want to head out. I think it's just over this point, and there's me wasting rockets. Oh, okay, whoa, that was a little bit of a lag spike there. Okay, yeah, this little island over here I think should do just fine for a fairly decent sized chorus fruit farm is what I want to go with, rather than purpur plant or purpur farm or whatever it is you want to call it. This island should do nonetheless. What I want to do is actually flatten it out a bit and get a decent sized area, because the chorus fruit actually needs quite a wide area to actually grow in. So we need a decent sized chunk of this island, and no one's actually claimed this island yet. I've double checked on the claims and coordinates to make sure that no one had claimed it, and it's very close to our island, so having us build something here, let's see how much he wants to sell that for. I wouldn't mind getting another beacon without having to go and get the wither skeleton skulls, but I really want to work at some point on a wither skull farm. That's definitely going to be in the makings fairly soon. 32 diamonds, I don't think is worth it. I'll probably discuss something with him later. So yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to clear a bit of an area, flatten it all out, so I've actually got something to work with. So yeah, I guess I'll catch you back in a bit, and this cave looks like it's going to be a nightmare to deal with. So yeah, back in a bit. Alright then guys, so I've flattened out a bit of a decent sized area here, and what we actually want to go ahead and do is sort of measure out where it is we want things. So in theory we want a row of 8 along the bottom line here, and we're going to want one gap for gathering. So say from here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think that's 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 9. See, luckily I double counted on that one. And then we want 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then another 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Do you reckon we can fit another one in? I think we can. And then another 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And that looks to be a fairly decent size. I'm going to go back one more as well, just to give us that extra bit of room. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Because we're still on the island, and I'm planning on putting a building around this once we've gathered enough of the chorus fruit, I want to say, and then turn it into probably purpur blocks and have some sort of purpur fortress around this entire thing. But for now, we're just going to go cheap and dirty with the dirt sort of layout here. Now, how far across can we actually take this guy? We don't really need to count this out. I just need to make sure that there's enough room at the back end here and also at the front. So, sort of running low on room on this side. Say about there. And then that can come all the way down to here, and we've got a flat runoff over here. So that's all happy days. That should give us a decent amount of chorus plants to actually grow on here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get all of the platforms sort of laid properly in dirt, because I don't think the material really matters all that much, and where I've taken down the hills I've actually got quite a bit of, well, I've got a little bit of dirt on me. So yeah, I'm just going to crack this out and I'll bring you back. Alright then guys, so I've been at this for a little bit now. I actually flew over to our island, grabbed some stone bricks and some glass just to sort of border it off, so that way it's not so easy to accidentally break blocks, which I was doing quite often when it was completely made of dirt. But as you can probably see here, we are going for a very, very rudimentary sort of setup. What do I need? I need this box on us. And some redstone. And not you. We need this one. How many sticky pistons have we got? Getting a little bit of lag on the server. There's quite a few people on at the moment, so please bear with me. Is this going to be enough for it? Come on. Yes, it is. Awesome. Then pretty much all that we're doing is making one big massive water tray. And then we're just going to be growing the chorus plants on here in different spots. I've got some end stone on me. And where is the end stone? There's the end stone. And I've got 15 chorus flowers on me. So just to make a little bit of a start. And the way that it works is simply after you harvest the flowers off of the plants when they grow, you can then just activate the waterway or water stream to wash away all of the chorus plants and the chorus fruit or pop chorus fruit. I'm not too sure what it's called. Sorry about that. I ended up having a little bit of a coughing fit in between that. Yeah, my throat got really dry and all of a sudden I started coughing, and I tried to say excuse me and carry on, but yeah, I just ended up having to decide just to completely redo this bit. But yeah, the whole point of this is that we want a water tray that after we've harvested the chorus fruits from the top of the plants, we can then activate this just to lift up the blocks to then wash down all of the other, what is it, chorus fruit? No, not chorus fruit. Is it chorus plant or popped chorus or something or another? I'm fairly sure that I'll figure it out because I know that this is the chorus flower, so we want the chorus plant, I think. And then you get popped chorus fruit or plant when you cook the chorus. I really need to learn the names for this. I never build with the stuff, so the names of them are beyond me, but I'm fairly sure by the end of this episode I will figure out what's called what. So what we want to do is just link a redstone line up to the top of this, very rudimentary, very, very simple, and then just hook it up to a lever because we're not going to need no fancy timer or circuitry on it whatsoever. So we're just going to run a couple of redstone lines along this one. So that's it all down. That's it all up, yeah. We just had to link it because what was happening there is that if I had to repeat it there with a redstone linked, it was sending an infinite loop of power around the circuit, which is something that we didn't want to happen. But it's no longer happening, so all happy days for us. Hooray! Victory! So we want to go on and just lay out where we want our chorus flowers to go. By figuring, but I don't actually know the sort of grind distance, so I am pretty much just going to be guessing. We're going to want that down for the time being because we're going to want to put water behind there, but we want these guys to start growing first. I think 3 away from the side and 3 away from the back's a good bet to begin with. So let's say 1 here, then every 3. But we also want to do equal measures on this side. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. That feels wrong. 2, 3. Yeah, that was wrong. Is it there? How is it my measurements are so off today? Everything I count out. See, that's only 2 away from that, but it's 3 away from that. So we actually want it there. Yeah, that feels better. That just feels right. Okay, so do that, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. Say 4. Oh, apparently we're going with 3 because my counting's off again. 1, 2, 3. Okay, let me just go ahead and lay these out. Is that going to measure up fine? Oh, 3 was spot on. Happy days there. So now it's all OCD friendly for me. Okay, yeah, I'm going to lay all of these places out and then I'll lay down the chorus flowers, I want to say. Yeah. Alright then, so we've got all of the, whatchamacallits in place, the end stone, yeah, and we've got 15 chorus flowers to be able to place down, so let's get a healthy variety of locations on these guys, just to maximise the distance in between each one, that and that. Just because I'm not 100% sure on the growing distance of them, they seem a lot bigger than what I thought they were. Do one there, do one here. Oh, that one's already started growing. And then we can do one there, you, and then you. That way we've got an equal distance in between all of the ones that we've currently got. And have I still got anything on me that needs to be thrown away? Nope. And we can throw these guys into here, and we need some ice, Have I got ice? Is this a thing that we can do? Yes, it is. Okay, so we just need to be able to get up behind there somehow. Can I get some stone? Thank you. Do that. And hop on round here. Do that. And then we just need to fill this with water source blocks. Now the sort of ice trader sort of waterways that we've got down in front is done in a way that it's 7, 7, 7, 7, then 8. So that way the water will flow all the way down to the 8 section, and it won't require us to do any secondary sort of water sources. Once this opens up, it will then just flow all the way down. Am I going to be able to reach that guy? Yeah, okay. And again, please. And I love the fact that the range is so far on Bedrock. Makes doing stuff like this a little bit less choresome. Okay, I seem to be just grabbing the same one and putting it down again. Better. There we go. Now it's all running smoothly. Now the one good thing about the chorus fruits now is that you can actually shoot the chorus flower. The chorus plants, okay, yep, that's what we're going to call it, chorus plants. So the chorus plants, the good thing about it now is that you can shoot the chorus flowers off of the top of them, which is extremely handy considering it will then save you having, you know what, I'm just going to, actually we're right next to an ocean, I don't really need the ice out right now. And put you back and get you off of the playing field. So what we're going to want to do is do the end slipway here to actually wash all of the chorus plant type deals over to a hopper and chest section to be collected after we shoot off all of the chorus flowers. And that one's already cut into 3, which is all happy days there, because we actually want to make sure we're getting a profit on the chorus flowers when they grow, because we're going to want to be able to replant them all. So what I want to do is, in between this cut and the next one, they're probably obviously going to grow a bit. I'm going to do the waterway, do the collection area, and then create like a little watchtower, probably just at the front here. So that way, once I'm ready to harvest it, I can just shoot off all the flowers, go over there, hit the switch, let the water flow, and let the good times roll. Okay, so what I'm going to do is crack on, get all of this bits and pieces done, and I'll probably bring you back ready for the first harvest. Right then guys, so it's now actually the following morning. It was pretty late for me to carry on recording last night by the time I finished up. And I done a couple of very small harvests just in order to get enough of the flowers to replant the entire thing. So I thought I'd bring you back for the harvest of a whole one. Now the bad thing about this is that if you leave the farm grow for too long, then the flowers will end up turning into them purple things. And I don't think that they actually drop flowers when you shoot them. Or maybe they do. Is that an actual flower that we can replant? Or is that just going to be a chorus thing? Can we get a proper demonstration here? So that one's dropped there. I think that's just going to be a plant if we can get up. Oh no, that is actually a flower, so happy days. I thought that was the sort of flowers going bad, but I guess you can actually still shoot them. Because I know that when they turn to that colour, it means that they stop growing. We've got an evil Knievel sheep up here trying to get up for some reason. But hopefully we don't knock him off to his... Yep, he's dead. Never mind. Poor sheep. So the whole point of this little platform here is that what we can do is just go along, and I've made a sort of garbage bow of just unbreaking an infinity on. And then we just go around shooting as many flowers as we can. And the thing is, with doing this, we've got about 5 minutes to do this in. And we don't actually need that many, because I think there's only, how many spots? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. So we only need a maximum of 40 flowers from the whole thing. And you can do this relatively quickly just by walking along here. If we wanted to, we'd get well over 40 by shooting all of these, but we're not going to need that many because I've already got 26 on me, so we're not going to go overboard on doing this. Now, the thing that I'm wondering is that all the double chests down there are empty now. I've started up smelting a load of the actual chorus plant already, and what used to happen, I know, on the console edition is that when you harvest a large amount of an item, such as these plants or normal crops using water, if it was registering too many entities, it wouldn't actually load, or it wouldn't calculate the correct amount. That over a certain amount, it would just stop calculating them. So you'd end up only getting probably about the first 2 or 3 lines worth of crops before the rest would actually unplant and still wash down, but they wouldn't actually break normally, if that makes sense. Because as you can see by the size of all of these plants now, it shouldn't be an issue. We should get like hundreds upon hundreds of the actual plant, because all of these are pretty tall right now, so it shouldn't actually, well, it should actually be quite a large harvest, but we're going to see what the amount is that we get, and I think that we've shot more than enough of these guys now. But just to be safe, we're just going to shoot a few more. And it's so good that they've managed to allow you to harvest the flowers this way, because what you used to have to do is go round and actually punch these off in order to get the actual flowers to replant, but just walking along a platform like this is not an issue. So then we just fly on down to here to our lever, and then what would happen here is that when these all get washed down, like the first few will register and you'll get all of these, but then when it gets down to lower, it wouldn't actually register. But we are getting a little bit of lag, and we are seeing a bunch of these chorus things still dropping. So we've got a horse and a spider en route as well. But by the looks of it, we are actually getting a fairly decent amount. We've got a chicken down there, so we've got an sort of unplanned egg farm as well that is actually washing into our hoppers. Okay, let's just wait for all of these to make their way down. And that's the last of them. And then we can hop back up here, pull our lever. Now what I'm thinking of doing after I get enough of the purple block sort of made, because I need to cook all of the plants and then turn them into pop cores in order to turn them into the bricks. I'll probably go round and I'll redo all of the stone bricks in the purple blocks, and then this platform I'll make more permanent, and then I'll probably do a switch that actually sends a redstone signal from up top down here to save me having to sort of hover down here in order to open and close the floodgate. So let's hop down here. I've actually got a little bit of an auto smelter running, cooking the chorus now. So we've got pop chorus fruit, and let me find out the name. Just chorus fruit, yeah. So chorus fruit to the pop chorus fruit in order to make the blocks. And then from this harvest we got a couple of stacks in that one. Got a stack and a bit in that one. And we've got a bunch in that one along with our eggs. So we've got more than enough chorus flowers. So let's just see the tally of this. Yeah, see, I think it is still doing that thing where it's just not registering all of them. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and a bit stacks. Now obviously every single one of these chorus fruits correlate to 1 block of purple, because 4 of them, crafting a crafting grid like you do a stone to make the stone bricks, is a chorus block or chorus stone brick or store. What is it? Purple block. Oh my god. First of all, I'm calling the fruits purple, and then I'm calling the blocks chorus fruit. Yeah. So it makes it's a 1-to-1 comparison. So 4 of them equals 4 of the purple blocks. So if we do that, we get a whole stack of the purple blocks, and then from that we can make the slabs and the stairs. And then I think from the slabs you can make the pillars. Yep. So it works the same way. Do you reckon it works with a grindstone? I don't think I've actually got a grindstone on me or in this at the moment. Nope. I could probably make one though. Have I got any stone anywhere? It is just stone, isn't it? Can we get some stone to see if this works? Silk touch. I do believe it's 3 of these and 1 piece of iron to make the stone cutter. And let's just see if it works with the thing. Maybe it's not 3 of them. We've got 1 piece of iron on us, and oh yes it is. Yeah, see, I was right, remembering recipes. And then, nope, not flowers. So you can actually use these to just make them straight into purple pillars, which is extremely handy because I'm actually going to be needing that later. So the plan is that after I've got enough of these things, I'm just going to throw that into my utility chest because it's quite handy to have on you. Once I've got enough of the purple blocks and after this is smelted, I'm probably going to do a couple more harvests over here. And then I'm just going to go ahead and build the end ship over in the shopping district, in the spawn town / island place. And the reason that I'm not going to bother doing any sort of time lapse on it or anything is because it's not a build of my design, it's just me copying a ship from the end, so it's not going to be relatively or all that interesting. Sorry horse, but you're just in the way now. So it's not going to be all that interesting. It's not like it's my own design that I'm building from scratch. I'm just going to be replicating an end ship and then adding just a couple of liberties on the sort of design and the layout of it. But all in all, it's pretty much going to be an end ship floating in the spawn town. And what was I going to say? Yeah, it's just going to be me sort of optimizing things in order to get a little bit more storage in there and sort of chests and whatnot laid out. So yeah, I'm going to crack on here, get a few more harvests, get more purple blocks. I'm going to need enough to be able to sell some as well as build the end ship. The end ship, I've probably got more than enough purple things ready to cook in order to build the ship already. And I've already gathered a whole bunch of endstone. So I've got one full shulker of endstone, one full shulker of ender pearls to sell, and then we've got all our good elytras and bits and pieces. I still need to make a visit over to a blaze farm, which someone has built on the server, in order to craft a bunch of the blaze rods. I'm definitely going to have to save some of the popped chorus, because I do believe it's that plus blaze rods in order to make the end rod. So if we just grab a stack of these on us and double check that recipe. Yeah, it's just that and the blaze rod, and it makes 4. So we can make a bunch of them and put them in the shop also ready to be sold. So yeah, all happy days here. I'll bring you back once the actual shop is up in the spawn town and we can start making some diamonds. Alright, so it's now actually night time for me over here, and I spent most of the day sort of gathering supplies and over at the chorus fruit farm area place, sort of harvesting that and replanting, getting enough stock in order to build it. And I did actually finally manage to get it built, and it's actually a good thing. It's quite easy to replicate buildings or stuff from the actual Minecraft game, because there's actually blueprints you can look up on the wiki and it will show it to you level by level on how to build it, and it was so simple. I'd get some scaffolding and throw it up and it's actually come out looking pretty decent. If we get a decent viewpoint on it, if we just come up to over here, so it's a perfect replica, 1-to-1 scale of an end ship. Obviously I've took liberties with the added light of the end rods just to make sure they wasn't sort of like a creeper trap, so I didn't want people going up there and getting absolutely destroyed by creepers or anything. And then we've got a purple glass encased elevator which will take us all the way up, and then I can show you what it looks like on the inside. Oh, there we go. And then here we have all of the products. So I've stocked it all up now, so we've got a whole chest of ender pearls. We've got enough purple blocks there now in case anyone ever wants to build out of purple. I know for a fact that I probably won't. I'll probably do some purple decorations over at the chorus fruit farm, but yeah, I can't see anyone actually buying that. Got a bunch of endstone. Not too sure if people are going to bother buying that. Although I may actually try to think of a build to use that in, because it is a sort of decent colour. It's a little bit brighter than the sandstone, but it's got a very vibrant look about it. We've got a bunch of shulker shells for sale. I've put them up for 5 diamonds per 2 shells, and I think that may be a little bit too expensive. So I'm thinking of knocking that down to maybe 1 diamond per shell, because we've got an absolute bunch of them. Looting now works on the shulkers, so that may be a tad overpriced. I'll see how it goes over the next couple of days, see if anyone actually buys them. We've got 16 diamonds each for the elytras, and I've got a few of them in there. We've still got enough stockpile just in case. And then we've got the end rods. I actually had words, come on. I actually had to go over and sort of create a very, very cheap and dirty blaze farm in order to get some blaze rods in order to actually make them. And yeah, so that's our shop all sort of up and running. I've not actually put anything up the top, which means there's no reason for anyone to actually come up here. But the ship is finished, and it's got like the dragon's head sitting on the top here. We've got the mast up there, which is all lit up. I've only put torches instead of end rods up there. And then we've got this area just up here. So I may try to think of anything else I'd like to sell from here. But I think we've got everything that I wanted to get stocked in. And our bookshop is still doing pretty well actually. Just keep on selling the odd books here and there. You've got Mac over in the Redstone store, he's stocking that up now. Me and him actually just went on a crafting sort of spree, crafting up all the different components. And he actually done a bang on job with this, considering that we were both over in my sort of test build. I've whacked it onto a realm so that way we can both sort of test builds and see what they look like and sort of structure it all out how we want it to look. And then I attempted to make a 2 wide 3 high extracting staircase. So when we stand on here, it all comes up perfectly fine. You run up and then it retracts. And that is very quick, very simple. This is not my design. My design was an absolute mess of cabling. It was so big, it was so chunky, there was redstone everywhere, but that's the way that I sort of work when I first design it. I don't tend to watch tutorials, but Mac found a tutorial for a 10 times more simplified version of it, mainly because I spent about 2.5 hours just making a 2 wide one that barely functioned. Whether or not it would function on a server is very doubtful, but this one is actually pretty nice and very sleek, stylish, comes up out of nowhere, and I actually really like it. And considering it's a redstone store, that it actually works pretty well. Hello Mac. So he's been stocking everything in here, and we've got 32 droppers, 16 dispensers. That's not bad pricing. To be honest with you, if I wasn't here having to help him stock this place, I would probably be the best customer of this place because I hate crafting redstone components. It's some of it is just a little bit of a chore. Like the pistons is a little bit of a chore because it's wood and cobblestone, and then you've got the iron cost and you've got the redstone, and it's just getting all of the resources in your inventory. The worst one for crafting is dispensers. I absolutely hate crafting it. But yeah, I think we're actually running low on time now for this episode, and I think to get the redstone shop, he's managed to get that done in like the last day and a half. I've managed to get that done in the last day and a half. So that's another 2 shops up and running, and we have got plans for some more. I do believe Mac has gone ahead and he's bought a couple of plots himself. So he's got this one over here and this one over here. And then I've still got another plot over on this side. This one over here, which we need to actually work out what we're selling. Initially, I was considering selling wood. But then I went to my wood farms and I started harvesting wood. And even with the wood farms, after about 4 or 5 hours of harvesting... I'm going to have to patch that up. After about 4 or 5 hours harvesting wood, I sort of gave up, and yeah, it was just, and I only ended up having about 3 or 4 shulker boxes full. So unless I actually get a proper fully industrialized wood sort of machine gatherer and sort of harvester, then I can't see that going forward. Have I got any sand on me? Please tell me I have. We've got oak. Have I got any in here? No, we've got dirt. So what we're going to do is we're not going to leave creeper holes. Don't worry if anyone on the server's watching. But what we are going to do is budget fix this. We're going to take it down a couple of layers. And then we're just going to fill the bottom layer with dirt. I can't see anyone minding that. Let's do that. And then I'm going to patch this up. Yeah, so you don't have to watch me actually do that. I'll come say goodbye to you. That skelly's going to take a pop shot at me. So let's just get up here. So yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed today's episode, and let's not be rude yet again. Yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed today's episode, and I'll hopefully catch you all in the next one. Bye bye.